Many thanks for joining us. I'm Crescent Oma, and of course, I am privileged to be hosting Mr. Gabriel here, who will be introducing himself in a few minutes from now. And today we shall be looking at the Luhya culture in details. We want to know what happens during a birth and naming, initiation, marriage, death, and funerals. The Luhya culture in totality. So stay with us till the end. Thanks, Mr. Gabriel, for creating time.
Thanks.
Maybe for that person who don't know you, just feel free to introduce yourself.
My name is Gabriel Ngala. I'm a man married, Luhya by tribe, from Kakamega, western part of Kenya, specifically from Mumias, the Wanga people, the Nabongo people. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm also a catechist in church. I've studied a bit of psychology. I've done anthropology. I teach CRA generally and an examiner, CRA paper 2. I've also studied early childhood, and also I have a certificate in special need education. I'm glad to be with you and ready to share with you, by the grace of God, as per the questionnaire. We welcome you to listen to us, share with us, follow, and let us enjoy the moment together.
Wow, thank you. And maybe without wasting much time, let me just go past to my first question. In the Luhya culture, what happens during a pregnancy, and what are some of the preparations done?
Among the Luhyas, during pregnancy is not an individual's affair. It's a communal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the Luhyas valued marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was abomination for any young girl or boy
Mm-hmm.
ready for marriage to go single.
Mm-hmm.
Preparation were forced to be made
Mm-hmm.
for any individual
Mm-hmm.
who could not initiate marriage.
Mm-hmm.
For they needed the continuity of the community.
Yeah.
They valued the position of children in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, any pregnant mother, it was the responsibility for every person in that clan to make sure that nothing harmful faces the pregnant mother.
Mm-hmm.
And it meant that a pregnant mother will not go alone,
Mm-hmm.
even if it means to walk in company of a small child that she can easily send to call an elder anywhere.
Yeah.
In case of any danger.
Yeah.
She will not be allowed to walk alone or stay in a house alone. Pregnancy was the matter for the community. It was not individual.
So you talked of they couldn't allow any danger to beget this pregnant lady. Was she maybe in a way restricted from doing some activities?
Of course, if we take it that the child to be born was for the community,
Yeah.
there is no way a young girl pregnant will be subjected to heavy duties. Don't forget that when the girl is getting married, she's fairly young. She's emotionally very young, not very experienced in matters pertaining a mother or a married woman. So she had to be in company of the mother all along. So that as they move on, she will be told the secrets on how to take care of the husband. For the mother, who is the mother-in-law, knows very well the son. So in accompaniment, she will keep telling this lady married, my son loves this, my son hates this. if you want to make my son happy, do A, B, C, D. And because they want to be born, the mother-in-law is awaiting for the grandchild.
Yeah.
So tenderly, you can imagine the treat the pregnant mother was taken, was given. And to make it more protective, the father-in-law remain as a custodian to make sure that the life has to be protected. So what I'm trying to say is that a girl came in from her family, willingly brought and assured of her security. And you can imagine how delicate it is during pregnancy. So having this information, any girl who became pregnant in marriage, it was a responsibility for every person to be consciously aware that I have to protect the one pregnant, more so, not to harm the one growing.
Okay. So was the protection meant for the woman or for the unborn?
Now,
who was given the
there's
priority?
No way this can be separable. They are inseparable. The mother and the fetus.
And the fetus.
Because for the fetus to develop, the mother is needed and has to be fed well and protected. Both emotionally and physically. Now, could you say that we are protecting the infant, the fetus, or we are protecting the mother? If we are to protect the fetus, definitely we have to protect the mother.
I have asked this because you may get, maybe you mentioned the issue of feeding. Maybe the lady, the pregnant woman is fed food which is only of significance
Even today,
to the fetus.
The era of science, the mother has to feed well for the proper development, of the growth fetus. And development of the child. So in this case, you first have to feed the mother well, so that the child is properly developed.
Okay.
As much as those people, a number of them had not gone to schools as such, but they were so much aware that for the child to be, it's what the mother feeds on. So they never fed the mother carelessly. They fed the mother well, for they are looking out to get a better child, a bouncing child. Right?
Bouncing baby boy or baby girl. Okay. Who was responsible for maybe the midwifery service, and what are some of the rituals performed during birth?
Before the time for the midwife, because generally in a clan, there were specialists, and among them were midwives, well known, that in case of this, a woman in this place or mother so-and-so or so-and-so should be called upon. And during this time, the child is growing, the pregnancy is being nursed. Already she's also aware that my job is almost. So she even will pay a visit beforehand, just casually, for remember this is a family. And remember falling sick or what of this pregnant mother, it will prompt for that lady to be summoned or be invited earlier. What could be the problem? Remember, we didn't have hospitals around that place. So these were people who are very important and handy when it came to that. So they were aware, and they could come in any other time. It was not anybody, because it comes right from when somebody is still young, during that time of youth, during initiation. The woman taking care of these girls will spot out different talents. And this is somebody who is already monitored and has been groomed, has been developed into being one, and has always been witnessing what happens, and given a trial. And whoever that has been journeying with this person has confirmed, this one, I have no problem. Can even help a mother to give birth alone.
Of course, I was actually to go there. Is the midwifery service given to any elderly person,
not
or
any.
Just do we have qualifications?
Not just any. It comes from the within, the interest of the child. Remember, when a child reached a point of from the puberty, during adolescent time or something, these children were not putting up in their mother's house. There was an elderly lady chosen, appointed to take care of the growing youth. So during this time and activities, she will always pick out a girl, probably good in this, good in that, good in that, and that.
Yeah.
So we should always tell the community, so and so can be tried in this, and we'll always work hand in hand with the person who is specialist in that area, so that at the end of the day, we get somebody to take over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe coming to the issue of cutting of the umbilical cord, what did it signify, and maybe where was it thrown?
Okay. Now let us have this woman getting pregnant. Having been pregnant, it is going to develop.
Yeah.
As it develops now, there is a sickness, and there is this other time, and there's that occasion.
Yeah.
The woman will always be restricted to reach some areas. For example, during this time, a pregnant mother was not freely allowed to attend some funerals or something like that. She was restricted. Remember, it is going to take a period of 9 months.
9 months, yeah.
So now, by the time it's coming now, the really time for giving birth, which means the pregnancy is now safe. Now, the signs will be out to tell that she's just due to give birth. In this case, the women in the village, in turn, will be incumbent of this lady. So that any other time the child arrives, some people are there, inclusive of the midwife.
Yeah.
All this time, she's also cautioned of having a razor blade with her, a piece of cloth, a threat. Should anything happen anywhere, maybe out there having gone to fetch for food or to the river or something, and the child is coming, whoever around there can assist her, and because she has the razor, will be there to cut the umbilical. And because she has the thread, will be there to tie the two ends between where they are going to cut the umbilical cord to avoid the running of the blood from the mother to the child. Now, this cutting of the umbilical cord, there's a part that is left hanging on the baby, which in some communities, it is kept by the mother. Should they cross with the child and now decides that I disown you, it is thrown to the baby to forget about that child that I gave.
So what would have led to maybe a mother
it could be
parting
probably
ways
the children can become a Rudy. And because of that one, out of that quarrel or something like that, that one was significant.
Was it also done communally?
Across the African community. Among the Maasais, this kept at the gate to determine how many girls, for example, are in that family. So on the entry in that home, you know how many girls. And as they get married, they are subtracted. So you can be always tell when I'm getting to this home, how many girls are there, how many have gone out, something like that. So the umbilical cord was very significant. It joins the mother and the child. Among the Kikuyus, I'm telling you, if the Kikuyu man got angry with the child and picks that umbilical cord and throws at the child, and then it means the mother has disowned that child.
Oh. Yeah,
it's kept. So it is the one that links the child and the mother.
So the decision, that decision is made by, is it made by the mother or the community?
It is culture. It is culture. It is culture. And that's why a child is warned not to disrespect the parents. For anything of that sort happening, it will be now a disaster.
All right? Disown the child.
Yeah. So children are warned, for this can easily happen. No? Now, the umbilical cord that is now cut off is going to be disposed carefully, either in a banana plantation or in a virgin land. To me,
what do you mean virgin land?
A virgin land, a land that has not been used. That is to mean for the continuity of this lineage. Because you can imagine that supporting the continuity of these children for the sake of the clan. So that's why they have to choose where to dispose the umbilical cord, either in the banana plantation, and you see how the bananas also grow. So it's for the symbol of good health, something like that.
Okay, so the child has been born. How long does it take to name the child?
So after the cutting of the umbilical cord, there is washing of the baby. remember the messy and everything. That's why there is soap, there is warm water, there is that good piece of cloth. And after that one, the child is supposed to be held by the feet so that facing downwards.
Oh.
To let any liquid not get into the lungs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in case the child is going to miss to cry, he's beaten up. He's given a slap on the buttocks.
Oh.
So that it can cry to open up the lungs.
The lungs, yeah.
So the infant's crying is healthy for the child. So it's an advice to any lactating mothers to allow children to cry. The more they cry, the better for the sake of the lungs.
Yeah.
Proper breathing.
Okay.
So after the clearing of the mess and all that, remember whoever is assisting the midwife to help this child to be given birth to should be people secretive, because you'll imagine a man who kept mounting this lady to the very late. The sperms never went anywhere. They coiled around the head of the child, right?
Yeah.
Even today, where the man has been unfaithful and maybe contracted gonorrhea, the child will be born blind. So in case of this one, they will also tell the behavior of the man and the behavior of the lady, because she was supposed to give a guide. Yeah. Not now, so that at least that mess is not there. Because it is penalty. And that's why also they allowed polygamy, so that there's a time that you don't keep a bound thing on your mother, on your wife. Yeah, you have to give her a break, something like that. Yeah, because of that messy, right? Yeah, and you'll pay heavily a fine in case of that.
So what was the fine? Maybe
of course, in terms of animals, it will be depending on how merciful they feel for you. Yeah, if they are not for you, then the fine will be heavy. Yeah. However, I was interested in the cleansing of the mother, because as we dispose the umbilical cord, as we cleanse the baby, we are also mindful of the mother, because in that mess she has to heal, and that's why now she's got to remain in seclusion for a moment to heal the injuries, also to heal, to feed well, to have enough milk for the baby, and also strength for herself. Remember, the child developing has used most of her organs, tissues, body tissues, so she has to regain back to that. So the mother, depending, is it a baby boy, baby girl, from which clan, depending on what is claimed from her place. It went like different from one person to another. So it differed from one person to another. So umbilical cord was disposed like that. The naming now comes in after the child has healed well, because the child has to remain indoors either 4 days, 5 days, depending on the sex. Among the Luhyas, it was 5 days if it was a baby boy, but 5 days if it was a baby girl. Now, among the Kikuyus, they will mention this one by Luleti. Lulation will tell how many, 4 lulations is a baby girl. 5 lulations will be a baby boy, right? Yeah. But now among the Luhyas, that was not the case. Even naming, they withheld the naming purpose, because there's the question of dreaming, people are dying in the village, and what they are trying to tell, the child wants which name, according to the tradition. If the child was born when it was heavily raining, maybe it will be like Mnyekenye, the rain, endless rain. Yeah. If the child was born at night, in the evening, during daytime, if it is a girl, a boy, it was differently named. If the child was given birth to and a visitor comes in, just like Kalajins, for example, Akina Chirono, a visitor comes in the morning before it is noon. A child automatically, if it's a girl, this Cherono or Kipto or something like that one. So it goes like that. So among the Luhyas, it went specifically during this pregnancy. Did the mother dream anything? During the pregnancy, did anybody famous die? During this pregnancy, who came in the dream? So mostly those people who come, who keep recurring the dreams, are given the priority. If the lady gives birth today to a baby boy and a very elderly respectful man dies, automatically, there's no question, that child takes the name of that person straight away.
Oh.
Yes.
So maybe if this woman was walking along the way and gave birth there, will the kid be given a name depending on the
Along
place?
the way, as
also?
I told you, the lady is supposed to be having at least the razor, the thread, the piece of clothes. Should the child come from anywhere?
Yeah.
So the ones who are born on the way,
Yeah.
they are called Nanjira. Nanjira, that means the way.
Way.
All right. Yeah, it's automatically.
Nafula,
Yeah.
mvua, right?
Nafla during the rain. All right.
So what's the difference
but now
between
the rain,
Munyekenya and
the Munyekenya is the endless rain.
Oh, I get
it. It goes that if you are in the house, you start falling asleep. All right. Yeah, but there is this one that during just rain, something like
dry
that.
Season?
Dry season, Nasimi.
Oh.
Nasimi, it is the dry season.
Do you have for maybe during cold season?
Cold season. Now it depends now. Like of course they have so many varieties. So which way is more? Which way is more during this time? Not all those children who are born during rain are given the name.
Oh.
It could be rainy, yes.
But there's a dream.
But a very respective man has died. Will automatically take that.
Oh.
It could be rainy, yes. But maybe some endless dreams came.
Yeah.
They will give
to the dreams.
You happen to give to this child a name that is not valid. Yeah. The child will endlessly keep crying. Now until there are few names are posted. Now to the one that the child is going to sniff, that is the name now given to the child.
So is it a communication from maybe the ancestors who died?
Remember, we cannot do away with our ancestors, the living dead. Yeah. And that's why we call them the living. Yeah. Though dead, but alive. So we cannot dispute the fact. Kwamba, that's now the way to go. Yeah. Unlike the Kikuyus who automatically, let's say the first baby boy will be automatically the father to the husband. And the second one on the other side. Yeah. For us here, you can keep naming one side, depending on what is going to happen. Because if the lady has terribly been having these dreams, then they are saying if it is going to be a baby boy, this is the name. If it is going to be a baby girl, this is the name. All right? Yeah. That's why it's not given like in the hospital, you give birth and then say, what's the name to the girl? Yeah, no. Yeah. Here they will take time. Yeah. And they console one another. And the elders are always there. Grandparents were there and everything. Communication was there within the clan.
So I was actually to ask, is it the dad or the mom or the elders who names the child?
No. In this case, the people who named were ladies. But ladies not just name from the blues. They name according to the culture. For example, if for the case of that person who has died in the village, the elders are the one who say, this so and so. And it was very automatic. Yeah. And nobody around there will say, so and so did not want to disappear. Yeah. The child has been born automatically. Yeah. It just comes. It is natural. Yeah. So there's no question about it. Okay. Yes.
So we talked of names being given depending on seasons, place of birth.
Yeah, during harvesting, during planting, during all those times. Yeah. That season. You know, you just know this is a season for preparing the land. This is the season, and that is now the dry part.
Nasirumbi, that is during?
You know, we prepare land before it sets on, right? And then after that, we start now planting. Yeah. It's a very nice season for planting, right? Yeah. Then now, it is during the time of when the crops now are getting to the rhythm of growing. There's also something that happens there. Then harvesting is another climax again of giving the names. Yeah. But I've again told you, depending on the weight of the incident that is happening. Yeah. It could be the season, it could be that weather, or it could be what would happen. Yeah. So it is natural calamities, it could be the nature, it could be those happenings, or maybe along the way or something like that one. It would give the child the
maybe to conclude on the naming part.
For example, I've said I'm called Gabriel Ngala, right? Yeah, yeah. Why Ngala among the Luhyas? It is a political name. Now, I'm a fellow who is born out of the wedlock. So you cannot tell me that mom could give me a name from wherever that man came from. Neither can you give me the name from this other family. So I'm given a neutral name. Somebody within the society. Yeah. Ngala, Ronald Ngala was famous. Yeah. So I was given that one for the sake of the child to grow. Remember, the name is very significant. Don't give a name to a child to limit the lifespan of the child. Don't forget that you cannot make a mistake to name a child after somebody who has been immoral. Right? Because automatically the child will inherit the characteristics of the person, the
immoral person.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, maybe names. Do you have specific names for the male gender, female gender, or do you have for the both gender?
Of course, let's say during dry season, we have Simi for the sake of men. Nasimi is a lady. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes. So it goes like that.
Okay.
Munyekenya actually is supposed to be the man. Yeah? Munyekenya is the man. So the girl can be given something different from that. And that's why now when it comes to a girl, they will focus on another thing that is happening around her.
Okay. What happens during the initiation among the Luhya?
Now this child that we have given the name, there is a ceremony for naming. There's a period for segregation. Then when it comes that now the mother has come back to her form, the child is now somebody you can recognize. You know, when a child is born today, is looking like a rat. So you cannot even introduce this child to the father or something like that. So to bring out this child is darkening in complexion, something like that. So a ceremony for naming is done. After that one, the child will continue growing, something like that. And again, you don't expose this child to anybody. Remember, we are protecting the child. Not anybody who comes carries the child. You can always say the child is asleep or something. You entertain this person and let it go. You don't expose your child to anybody. All right. And because you have the mother-in-law, you have the midwife, you have other relatives who will not allow you because you are still growing a very young girl who does not know. But this will not allow. So that the child is fully protected. Now, when the child has grown into age of 3 or 4, remember the Luhyas allowed polygamy. That's now when the man can send this small child, get me some water. That concept can get water and bring, allows the man to get back to that house. All right? Now he's allowed back to the house. Because the mother is now informed. The child is now grown. Now the father can still now come back to the house. All right. Now, as the child grows, if it is a baby boy, it is going to reach a puberty stage. And all this time, the child is in the hands of the mother, the grandmother, and all that, shortly with the grandfather. So they're going now to move away this child from the female bring up of that child during adolescence, as it sets on, the age of 13, the age of 12, 14 there. And this is the time now they are feeling, if the child is initiated, whether a girl or a boy, this time, is ready to marry. And because Luhyas never initiated girls in the sense that they were cut anything whatsoever, but they were now to be in contact with the boys during this time, to dancing together during initiation or something like that, nursing the boys and all that, so that they know what happens to the counterparts. Now, these boys that have been initiated, they will be tried out. And before the initiation, they were being teased and to let them run away from the mothers. All right? They have been told you don't stay with the mothers because of this, you're just a woman, you know what? The Kikuus normally call them Kehie. The Luhyas call them Musinde. Something like that. So they don't like it. They don't like it. So after that teasing and all that, we are going to cut these things. Sometimes they even subject these boys to some anti-heels. You know, they feel all that frustration to actually make them feel I need to be initiated willingly, so that when they come out, there should be people who can stand the situation. Remember, they are mechanically this is done to them. Cut, literally cut. Then they use herbs, which is very painful, and wrapped with the banana fiber instead of a bandage of today. And treating this was painful. And after that, you can now imagine the boys feeling I'm real a man. And they are staying away from the normal house.
Oh.
They are put in a structure. They sleep on banana fibers.
So is it in the homestead?
Yeah, within the homestead. But not like the Kalenjin who call it away in the forest, or some of the tricky people in Luhya.
Yeah.
In most of the area, our area, Mumias, they are just within the homestead, but they identify a home. So that now there they can be taken care of, not to bring the girls their contact. When they are healing, it can be disaster, because they can erect and it can actually injure them.
Damage
something like that. And it was the age 14, 15, marrying these boys was not an issue.
Yeah.
So after that, they are being told, now you are men, you are men, you are men, you are men. And to avoid them now doing anything immoral, an organization, a plan was made easily for them to get married. Because remember, majorly they could just go to the farm, take care of the animals. The issue of going to school was in March.
Yeah.
We are talking of that particular time when the education was being introduced or something like that. So it was very easy to marry them when they were still fairly young.
Okay.
And that one avoided them indulging into immoral activities like masturbation, homosexuality, so all those prostitution. These have come as vices today, because a child takes too long time in education, and that time was after that age. And because the child is marrying and will be taken care of by the parents of the father, the man, it was not a big deal.
Okay.
Because he will still be given food, will still be taken care of as a child, until they're of age to be allowed to be independent. So that one, somebody has grown already, has experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
So did they have a specific time frame
for what?
For the initiation?
Now they had. And this is now, I'm telling you, why initiation? They are preparing somebody into adulthood.
Yeah.
Can this person take charge of a farm, if in case given a portion? Can this person be responsible of a family? So you can imagine which age was this. Starting from 14, some sharp boys cool. Okay,
that's age.
Yeah.
I meant like the duration after circumcision. Were they given a specific, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month?
No, not in terms of weeks. They were given at least a period like of a year or something. Remember the time of graduation, from now when they have healed, the time of graduation, they are shaved. But before that shaving, they are told, you burn whatever the structure you have been living in. You burn literally everything. So it is burned and be now scattered in the forest. They are not allowed to sleep in anybody's house. So they sleep there. When they survive to come the following morning alive, then they are proving to be men. Then what is going to follow? They are shaved. That the old person is gone. They are now visiting the new person.
A new person, a mature person.
They start now visiting the homes with a stick, put some feathers. And wherever they go, they are given a chicken, they are given a goat, they are given what? They want to see how they are taking charge of this property they are acquiring.
So are they going to every homestead?
Of course, relatives, among the
only relatives.
Among the relatives. Majorly, you go to your aunt, to your uncle, to your that's where you are going. Because you cannot go to just to any home. Now, after that one, how are you getting taking care of this? Then you are going to be sent to the forest. Go, cut the timbers, come prepare, put up a house of your own. So those who qualify, so that was a qualification. Those who qualify, they were going to be prepared in getting married or something.
So before marriage, they are constructing. Who helps them to construct?
They are supposed to do that. Remember, they have burned whatever they constructed, they were sleeping.
Those who have been initiated?
They were the initiates. Now they have been subjected to that forest the whole night. They have come, they have been shaved. They have now been given a mandate to walk around and source for wealth. All right? So the goats, the sheep, the chickens, or something like that. And how are they going to take care of them? It's one way to start monitoring that this person is responsible. Or is not responsible. Then they are told, go to the forest, prepare, come up with your structure, your house.
So all this time, whom are they under? Or who guides
them? They
them?
are in the family. They are in the, after that graduation, people get back to their homes. Remember, it could be during initiation, there were 3 or 4 in a village. But a child of so-and-so, a child of so-and-so, they were done together. They were put, probably, they were gathered together. They have healed. Now, each one goes back to their homestead.
So do we also have specific people who were given the role to circumcise?
Of course, we had specialists. And in circumcision, not anybody. It is something somebody inherits.
Oh.
It's in the spirit. And for the female, when they are in that spirit, they cannot circumcise, but they will be subjected to touch that knife or that sand, so that at least they cool down. Because they are in the spirit, they can circumcise. It's something spiritual. Yeah, it's something spiritual.
So it is
not just anybody can get a knife and do it. No. And the person doing it must have had a son who is already circumcised, which means you have graduated. If not, you are going to be assistant to the circumciser to put a mark on the private part of the boy. Then alert, so that this one comes and cuts, and like that.
Maybe, do they use a single knife for the whole group?
Of course, in that case, it's just a single knife. Remember, when he holds it like this, he's running the village, he's being moved by some spirit, it's not himself. So wherever he hears the Ingwe, he's running there, he's running that ready. He's ready. So you'll come later on, again now to do some ritual, to advise this boy that you are now a man, and any woman comes your way can make children with you. Whether a one-eyed woman or a lame or what, don't choose. Women are not chosen. Any woman can be a woman. So that kind of ritual is done when somebody is seated by the door, facing inside the door, and that whoever the circumciser spits on this boy or something like that.
What's the significance of spitting?
It is just like a blessing. Just like a blessing. Don't forget that that skin, the foreskin, dropped there. A specific woman picked, a grand person at least, a grandmother, chosen, identified by the family members, who picks it. And wherever she's going to hide it, it is her and her alone who knows where.
So does she pick specifically for all the boys, for all the ancients?
She cannot pick for all. Let's say you are my son. So we, from our side, we know who
the specific lady
is supposed. Because you could be in a group of. So every family, household, have at least a specific person to identify, to go and do that.
What's the meaning? What does it mean?
Anyone can bewitch. Anyone can bewitch a child. Remember, we are saying a child is very significant in Luhya community. And one can be bewitched by this. So that blood and that foreskin is picked private by this lady, and preferably they used to put in an anthill. Now we have those holes there. And whichever the place she goes, it is her and her alone. Who knows? Not even the father knows it as well.
Is she not escorted?
She's alone and by herself. It is so secretive. And that's why a grandmother will never be against the wish of the growing boy. A grandmother.
We've seen maybe in the Bukusu culture, they go in the river, they apply the mud and whatever.
Wanga, those Luhyas who circumcise. Among the Luhyas, remember, not all of them circumcise. Like the Marachi don't, Samia don't, Teso don't. They don't circumcise. But those families, those clans that circumcise among the Luhyas, most of them, they go to the river. And why do they go to the river? To numb the body and bury the money. So that there's no much injury caused. And it can give the circumcised a humble time to handle it. Remember, it's a small penis, remember. So if it is just dry like that, it can cause harm. To cut round. So when the body is numbed and that early in the morning, the circumciser can take his time and make sure that it's on the foreskin and the foreskin removed.
So the specialist who circumcises these ancients, what is he given as a reward?
Of course, for example, if I take mine, I went to the street and I met them, because you will always know these are circumciser, the way they have decorated themselves. And I told them, here I am, a candidate. Please follow me. And I directed them to my aunt. And they say, okay, the boy has brought us here.
Yeah.
They say, if he's the one who has called, he's fine. So they stayed overnight. They never went anywhere. They were given food. They were given liquor to drink. Yeah. And they kept making fun. They could wake you up. You sleep in the same under roof. They wake you up and tease you. Yeah. Are you not scared? No. Yeah. They show you the knife, very red on fire, and they sharpen it. Yeah. And then you stay there until around 4 is when you can be fed. Yeah. Then taken out again to the market, the reef, and then back, and you are operated. So they will go, and after they have come during that morning, they have done all that operation. They will now come. They are given in terms of maybe chicken or some little money. It wasn't much. It wasn't much. Okay. If this boy couldn't cry, he could be taken as brave, right? Yeah. What of the case? Okay. What could he be rewarded as being brave? And what of the other one who could cry? Before the cutting, yeah, you are left half naked, and you are tied these things women put around their waists. The lasso? No, the what? What do we call them? Is a shangas. Shanga. Yeah, you are put like that. Yeah. Then something to these jingles to sound around. You are telling all the guys, I'm going to be prepared. Oh, you are telling all the guys, yeah, you are going to telling people now. So in the whole village, they know you have done. Yeah. So whether no one will tell anybody because it was very open. Yeah. During this time, you go to your uncle, you are telling him. He can decide to give you a whole cow. Yeah. A sheep, a goat, or chicken. Yeah. This is what you are going to feed on during the time you are nursing the wombs. Yeah. So now, so during now that they are brought, they are going to to tell you to go and help yourself by yourself in the bush. Yeah. You can decide to run. No one will ask anything. No one will ask anything. But the moment you come, how it will happen? It's like lightning. Somebody will pick you, throws you in the river, and somebody is already there. And is putting this clay around your body and everything. Yeah. They put something on the top of the head, a grass. That symbolizing the person who was first circumcised in the community. Oh. He went to the forest, wrestled a snake, a big snake, and killed. Yeah. So he came back home carrying his rungu like this, and the head of the snake. Say, what can stop me from being circumcised? I've murdered it. Yeah. So he was circumcised hold like this. So the symbolic of the grass is the head of the snake. Then that stick you are given to hold it of a leader or something, a shepherd. Oh. So you are going to hold here. One to just as they tell you count how many stars are there. Yeah. Not to check down there what's happening. Yeah. As they keep telling you all that, the operation is going on. It's only the whistle and the relations that are done. They are gone. Yeah. Now in case you start crying and disturbing, you can't run away. They will do all the necessary that is it costs to be cut. All right? Yeah. Of course, during initiation, during graduation, they will sing out your name to ridicule you. Yeah. So you also feared to be ridiculed. Yeah. Yeah. You mess up the name of the family and the clan at large and yourself. You know to be fair. Yeah. So and you are told if you cry, your mother will die. So don't cry because the first word that will come, mom. Mom. So you are told, don't cry, your mother will die. Yeah. So all that, it was significant. It made the boy brave. They cheered him. So you now remain there and ask your wounds as people dance, as they cherish, they drink and all that. So initiation has ended. We get into marriage, courtship. The initiation has not ended. Oh. You are going to heal. You are going to be restricted not to drink any sugary liquid in any food. Like porridge should be without any milk, no sugar. And they just cut the quad like this. So the calabash is, you are going to clean it as you drink the porridge on it. And it becomes very clean. Then you put a small pot like this of porridge. And you are teased. Remember the gods you have been collecting, the meat and everything. It is there for lunch. And you are told unless you finish this porridge, no lunch. Yeah. So you are forced because the lunch is a bit tasty. Yeah. So you have to work on it finish and all that. During this time, immediately after initiation, that channel, the opening of the penis is blocked. So you are told on which leaf you are going to use to put some saliva to open it when you are going to your net. Or else you come up with shower. So, so you are, and it's very sensitive.
Yeah.
So you do it all that. Now it is you are accustomed, and you sleep with the legs like this. And whoever that is walking with you is very keen at night. You'll be hit on the ankles in case you bring your legs together, because you are going to harm yourself.
Yeah.
They are also telling you, in case you dream of a lizard as a boy, don't kill the lizard. Did you know?
Why?
It is that foreskin coming back, and when you hit, you don't hit anywhere. You hit there, you start bleeding. No. So you are restricted that when you are dreaming, should this happen, don't. And you remain with the legs like this. Should you bring like this, it is hit. So every time it clicks, that you have to remain like this. Until you heal and all that. When you are going to warm yourself out, should a lady come or something, you are also going to be beaten by the person journeying with you. Why did you take yourself out of there? Because it is going again to harm you. All right.
Is that your mistake or the mistake of the girl?
No, whichever it is, you are supposed to run away. You are supposed to run away.
Yeah.
I get the point.
Yeah.
So that was also discipline. The person cooking for you, latest to come should be by 5. If not, she'll be penalized. Because where have you been? Because she's also not supposed to be indulged in anything or something. This man and this lady, the people taking care of you, they should be strictly there, not indulged in any sexual matters whatsoever during this time.
They have to abstain during that time.
Yes, they have here. So the timing when they are absent and what it matters a lot again. Yeah, it prompted some fine. Now, after now you have healed, you are going to have a time of graduation. You have healed. This time of graduation, the girls of your age, in pairs, she's there, you are here, you are dancing. I remember now their boo-boos are like this, but you are here or something. But they are also working on your self-control. Can you dance like that and go? They are also working on
without rings.
Yes, that dance very closely like that one, but again, you can have self-control.
So are they watching all your body?
No, you are half naked, they are half naked. Their breast also, they are just put their shangas like that. But for you, you are put something on the head, kind of machined or something like that. These are pumps, dried and made something like that. So you play it, and this time now, ni karungu, sio ile jangles. Kingles. Now, during this time, you go to the river, you are healing. There's some clay, you put yourself, you look like a lion. This one is very significant. I didn't want to forget about it. When you are there, a group of boys coming like this, and guys maybe have gone to fish for foul, to the woman. You run after them, not for anything, but to hit them very hard here.
Why?
Now you can understand, to scare them away from you. And they didn't want any immorality. Because you can imagine if freely you are left together, and you have been told you are now a man. So psychologically, you are told you hit them. And as you ran hitting them sillily that way, but it scared them away and never allowed them to keep coming closer to you people. You are left safe. The girls were safe, you are safe. It is something traditional, and it was helping them too. So you can imagine if you have healed and you are in that and you are free in the forest. Rape cases would not have been stopped. But instead they were told, you see a lady, hit.
So that she runs away.
And the moment they see you also, they run away because they know what they'll
be hit.
And it saved them.
Okay.
So it protected the moral behavior.
So thank you. Just stick from there. Thank you guys for staying with us to this point. We are taking a short commercial break. We shall be right back. Stay with us.
Bye.